Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. After all the unspoken emotions, after the silent longing, and after the heartfelt words that finally crossed the invisible distance between them, there came a moment no one expected would ever happen again. A quiet reunion, not in front of cameras, not under the blinding lights of fame, but in the most human, fragile way possible. This is the story of when Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun finally met again. It had been months since their emotional exchange took the world by storm. Fans across the globe had watched every little sign, every interview, and every subtle glance, searching for any hint that their paths might cross again. But both Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun had chosen silence, perhaps out of respect for their private emotions, or maybe because some stories need time to find their perfect ending. Lee Min-ho, who had always appeared calm and composed on the surface, was different these days. Those close to him noticed how his voice softened whenever her name came up, how he would glance at the sky a little longer, as if replaying moments that only he could see. Meanwhile, Kim Go-eun was also changing. Her smiles carried a quiet strength, her eyes reflecting both warmth and melancholy. It was as if they were both learning how to live with something unspoken between them. But fate has a way of bringing people back together when the time is right. It was a late autumn afternoon in Seoul. The city was bathed in golden light, leaves swirling softly in the breeze. Lee Min-ho had just finished a script meeting for his new drama, one that, ironically, explored the idea of two souls reuniting after years apart. The script felt eerily familiar, as though it was written from the echoes of his own heart. After the meeting, his manager told him there was a private event later that evening, a small film industry gathering for directors, actors, and artists. He hesitated at first, but something in him whispered. That same evening, in another corner of the city, Kim Go-eun received an unexpected invitation too. Her agency mentioned it was a simple get-together, nothing formal. She almost declined. After all, she wasn't in the mood for small talk or flashing cameras. But then again, something tugged gently at her heart. A quiet instinct said, "You should go." And so, under the same soul sky, two hearts unknowingly began walking toward each other again. The event was intimate, held in a quiet rooftop lounge overlooking the shimmering skyline. Music floated through the air, soft, nostalgic, almost cinematic. Celebrities mingled, laughter filled the corners, and yet for Lee Min-ho, everything blurred into background noise. He stood by the railing, holding a glass he had long forgotten to drink, his eyes distant. Then suddenly, as if time slowed down, he felt it, that familiar presence. That quiet energy he could recognize even in a crowd of thousands. He turned around, and there she was. Kim Go-eun, in a simple cream dress, her hair gently swept by the evening breeze. No spotlight, no cameras, no rehearsed smiles. Just her, standing there, as real and breathtaking as ever. Their eyes met, and in that instant, every wall, every distance, every unsent message vanished. It was as if time folded in on itself, bringing them back to the very beginning, to the first time they met on set, the laughter, the late-night rehearsals, the unspoken bond that had never really faded. For a few seconds, neither of them moved. The world seemed to hold its breath. Then, slowly, Lee Min-ho took a step forward. "Go-eun," he said softly, his voice almost trembling. She looked up, her eyes glistening. "It's been a while, Appa." That simple exchange carried the weight of everything they'd left unsaid. They found a quiet corner away from the noise, and for the first time in what felt like forever, they talked, not as actors, not as public figures, but as two people who once shared something beautiful and perhaps never truly let it go. They laughed at old memories, at how awkward they were during their first table read. They remembered the rain scene that made fans cry worldwide, and how they secretly joked between takes to keep from tearing up. And then, in the quiet between their laughter, came a silence that spoke louder than words. Lee Min-ho looked at her for a long moment before finally saying, "I never got to thank you properly for your words." Kim Go-eun tilted her head gently. "You already did. In your own way." He smiled, that same boyish smile that once made her heart skip a beat. "Maybe, but I still owe you this." He took a deep breath. "When you said that you understood how hard it was for me to open up, I realized something. You've always seen the parts of me I tried to hide. Even when I was acting strong, you knew." Her eyes softened. "Because you did the same for me, Min-ho SSI. You saw through my walls too." There was a pause, the kind that exists only between two souls who know each other too well. Then Lee Min-ho said quietly, "I missed you." For a moment, the world stopped again. Kim Go-eun's eyes glimmered under the dim lights, her lips parting slightly as if the words caught her off guard. She smiled faintly. "I missed you too." Neither of them tried to define what this moment meant. They didn't talk about the future or about what the world expected. They simply existed, two hearts meeting again after a long, beautiful detour. Hours passed like minutes. They talked, they laughed, they remembered. When it was finally time to leave, Lee Min-ho walked her to the car. The night air was cold, but their hearts were warm. Before she stepped in, she turned to him one last time. "Appa," she said softly, "whatever happens next, thank you for finding me again." He smiled gently. "I didn't find you, Go-eun. We found our way back." As her car disappeared into the Seoul night, Lee Min-ho stood there, hands in his pockets, his heart both heavy and light at once. It wasn't about labels or promises anymore. It was about a connection that had survived time, distance, and silence. And maybe, just maybe, that was love in its truest form. In the weeks that followed, fans began noticing something different. During interviews, both of them carried an unmistakable glow, softer smiles, brighter eyes. When asked about their current projects, they spoke passionately, but when their names came up together, there was always that unspoken warmth. Rumors began swirling again. Had they reconciled? Were they back in touch? Neither confirmed nor denied. But perhaps they didn't need to, because sometimes the most beautiful stories don't need explanations. And so, their reunion became more than just a headline. It became a symbol, a reminder that no matter how far two people drift apart, when hearts are true, they'll always find a way back to each other. As the credits of their intertwined story faded into the night, one truth remained. Some connections are written not by destiny, but by choice, quiet, patient, and real. And for Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun, this was not the end. It was simply the beginning of something more honest, more peaceful, and more beautiful than ever before. Outro music fades, gentle piano. Because when they finally met again, the world didn't just witness a reunion. It witnessed love, in its purest, most human form. Sparkling Heart.